Den verdenskjente forfatteren av bestselgeren «Menn er fra Mars, kvinner er fra Venus», John Gray, holder et av sine sagnomsuste foredrag i Oslo på lørdag. TV8 var en av de få utvalgte som fikk intervjue eksperten på lykkelige forhold.
So, with all your years and experiences with working with men from Mars and women from Venus, what's the most common mistake that everybody does?
Well, the most common mistake is that we expect the opposite sex to think the way we do. Mm-hmm. And when they don't, or when they don't have the same reaction we would have, we think something's wrong with them. Mm. Men often think women are a little crazy, or their emotions are off the wall. Mm. And women often think men are lazy, mm-hmm. or selfish, or inconsiderate. And if we understood each other better, we'd have a more positive interpretation of our differences.
Mm. Well, in your latest book, Venus on Fire, Mars on Ice, you don't just talk about the mental side of things, but how the body and hormones and nutrition gets into the picture of our relationship. You've got to explain how this works.
Well, this is a really fun book because this is the 20th anniversary of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Oh, fantastic.
And since that time, at different universities, they've completely researched the differences between men and women's brains and hormones. Mm. And suddenly I've been studying gender differences for 30 years, and suddenly it all explains what I observed before.
Fantastic. So theory matches the practice.
Theory matches the physiology. For example, there's a hormone they discovered that's very, very significant for women to lower stress, but not men.
Ah, actually, so it's different.
It's different. It's very different. It's the hormone of love and nurturing and caring and trust and cooperation. It's called oxytocin.
Sounds lovely.
So it is lovely. So women love oxytocin. And Harvard did a study that showed that when men and women were doing cooperative, supportive activities, stress levels, as measured in the body hormone cortisol, went down in women, but up in men.
Ah.
And when you put men and women in competitive activities, stress levels went down in men and up in women.
Well, that's interesting because it's quite the opposite.
It's quite the opposite. And there's two different hormones associated with competition is testosterone, and cooperation and love and bonding and sharing and togetherness, harmony, that's all the hormone oxytocin. So for women, oxytocin has been proven to lower her stress levels.
Right.
But it doesn't lower stress levels for men.
Interesting. So no wonder we can't understand each other.
Well, so we don't have the same motivations.
Exactly.
If we're all the same, there'd be no issue about some of the conflicts we have, but we'd be very boring.
So what can the man do to boost the oxytocin level, and the other way around, how can the woman boost the testosterone?
Right. Well, men need to make 30 times more testosterone than women.
So much?
Yeah, we have to. Average male has 30 times more, and you can use up all your testosterone by the end of the day. And what people don't realize is they think that testosterone causes aggression. That's an old, outdated idea, and it's not true.
Right.
Testosterone, actually, when a man has his most romantic, when he has his best mood, when he's most motivated, when he's solving problems, when he's fixing things, his testosterone levels are up. And when his testosterone levels go down, he's grumpy, he's irritable, he's rigid, he's tired, he has low libido for the woman he loves. He may be interested in other women, but not the woman he loves. Yeah. Because when you love someone, it produces oxytocin, and too much oxytocin in a man lowers his testosterone.
Right.
Too much testosterone in a woman lowers her oxytocin. So we have to find this balance inside.
Absolutely. So, and what can the woman do to boost the testosterone in men?
Well, actually, I didn't answer your other question about what can men do to boost testosterone, oxytocin for women. I think we should do ladies first here.
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
The thing that I heard from women for 25 years as a marriage counselor are all the things that women are, in a sense, complaining they're not getting, are things that produce oxytocin. Like, I want them to listen, I want affection, I want romance, I want eye contact, I want empathy, I want to share things together. And those are oxytocin producing events. But you can't look to the man for all of that, otherwise he becomes a girlfriend. And you don't want your husband to be your girlfriend.
No, definitely not.
But all those things I just listed are things girlfriends naturally do because they're motivated because it's oxytocin producing. So a bit of that, but to keep in mind for men, too much of that will actually lower his testosterone levels. Then he becomes moody and grumpy, or he loses his libido, he becomes less romantic, he becomes lazy. All these things that are happening in marriage, I see it's too much closeness. Sometimes you need to get close and pull away, close and pull away. Because when a man feels alone, separate, doing his own thing, completely in control of his schedule, his timing, that helps him to rebuild his testosterone. And then he goes over to her world, wanting to make her happy. That's okay. He needs some oxytocin, but too much lowers his testosterone, and then he becomes not the person you married.
Well, as long as we can get the balance right and help each other, then we'll understand each other.
Yeah,
the relationship will be better.
And there's so many different ways that men and women misinterpret each other, but to understand a bit of the physiology and then to go into the brain differences as well, suddenly men and women start making sense to each other instead of going, what is wrong with my partner?
Well, that's what we all want, sense, isn't it?
Making sense of each other. Yeah, that would be great.
Exactly. Thank you very much for sharing this with us.
Great pleasure.
And enjoy your stay in Norway.
Thank you.